beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something that you are interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the family. Okay, so I have a very exciting video because today I get to do a second impressions on the new Tropicolor palette from Sydney Grace. Now this is very, very exciting, not just because I love Sydney Grace as a brand and their formula, but because this is in collaboration with Tina from the Fancy Face, who I absolutely adore. So before we get into my standard swatches and then giving y'all an eye look thing, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Tina for a little minute or two. So if you want to skip forward, go ahead. I'll leave some timestamps down below. But I do want to say this because I am so excited to try this palette to support Tina, and this was actually gifted to me by the brand, and really grateful that Sydney Grace sent this my way. But I'm so excited for Tina because she's one of the first creators that I started watching when I really got into makeup. You know, she has a huge platform, she has a huge following, and I think that she deserves so much more success than the success that she's had, so much more recognition, because she is one of the OGs out here in this game and one of the most transparent, honest, and just real people that you'll find when it comes to beauty content. Now, I was always gravitated towards her because she's Caribbean. She's Jamaican, I'm Trinidadian. You know, Caribbean people, we just find each other, right? So that's how it is. We find each other, we support each other. So I always loved the fact that she was Caribbean because I could relate to that. And one of the things that I've appreciated from watching her years ago till now is that she is pretty much still the same person. And I've always loved her honesty and the fact that she was really transparent. Now, I've said this before on my channel, but when it comes to me talking about, like, you know, my experiences with brands and just, you know, engaging and interacting with brands generally, I'm going to tell y'all what it is, and I'm going to tell y'all which brand it is too, because I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and protect brands. And it's always been a bit of a pet peeve of mine when folks come on and they say, you know, I had this really shady experience with the brand, and they tell you all about the experience, but they don't tell you which brand it was. And I'm like, what was that for? Like, why would you do that? And Tina has always been really transparent, and she will come out and she will say, I worked with this brand, it was great. I worked with this brand, it was terrible. This was my experience shopping. This was my experience, you know, working as a creator. And she's always been deeply honest about her experiences. Like, and even with brands that she loves, if she doesn't like a product, she's not gonna like sit there and like try to sugarcoat it. She'd be like, you know, this was trash and it's okay. And I've always experienced that. I've always appreciated that level of honesty and transparency. You know, what I've gotten from watching her is that she loves creating content. Like, she truly loves creating content for the creation aspect of it. You know, for a lot of people, this is their job. So there's this dual like pull of like, I have to do this because it's my job versus I love doing this. And for her, you know, she works separately. She has a lot of videos where she talks about her like corporate lifestyle. Like, that's just what, you know, she has a 9-to-5 job like me. So she like has that, and she creates content from like the true love of it. And I have always like really resonated with that because everything that she says, everything that she reviews just comes out as being like just really true to her and really honest. So, you know, this is her second collab palette. She did a collab with Odin's Eye Cosmetics last year or 2020. Can't remember the year. And that was actually my first purchase from Odin's Eye, because when Tina said she was coming out with a collab, I was like, I don't care what it is, I'ma buy it. So that was actually my first intro into Odin's Eye. And now that she has the second palette, I'm really excited to get it. So like I said, I was gifted this by the brand, right? And Sydney Grace is also a brand that I really love. Full transparency, Sydney Grace is literally the first brand that actually like reached out to me to give me consistent PR. And this was before, well, first of all, I am a very small channel. If you hear, you already know that. Secondly, I was smaller back then. You know, I didn't reach out to them. I would post my little pictures on Instagram and I'd have my little Sydney Grace palettes on, and it was just like, this is cute. And I enjoyed the quality. And then one day they just reached out to me and they were like, hey, we'd like to send you some products. Is there anything that you're interested in? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'd love to try the Enduring Love palette. And they sent it my way. And I was really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Sydney Grace sent me a palette. And I was just like, cool beans. And I never expected anything else from them, to be quite honest. I have like worked with brands where they'll send me like one product and then that's it. And that's totally fine. Like, I am very comfortable buying my own makeup. I've bought 99% of my makeup, and I had purchased from Sydney Grace before. You know, I bought the Temptalia collab, I bought the Tiny Marvels collab, so I had already like purchased from Sydney Grace and really enjoyed the products. And I would have bought this anyway, because like when it comes to Tina, I'm gonna support. Even if I didn't like the color story, I'd be like, yeah, girl, I got you. You know, I got you. It's the Caribbean love here, okay? So when this showed up in the mail, I was like screaming from the hills. I was like, this is stunning. Now, let's get into some product details, because I've already ranted for like 5 minutes just singing Tina's praises. But I do want to underscore, like, if you are watching this, I love Tina. I really do. And I really love the Sydney Grace formula, the Sydney Grace brand, and the Sydney Grace like company. And they're like, they've always been really nice, really pleasant, really sweet. So I'm you know me, I'm very transparent as well. So I'm just gonna put it out there that for me, when I got this is not really gonna be like is this a good palette? Is it gonna perform well? Because I know I like the formula. It really is like, do you like the color story or do you not? So if you're looking at this to help you make a decision, sorry, I love this. Spoiler. Good luck. So let me give you guys a little bit of product details. Let's get into the actual video now. So if this is your first time watching me, the way I like to do my reviews or first impressions is I'll give you a little bit of product details, and then I will do some swatches, and then I'm gonna go into this eye look. So if you want to see me create this eye look, which is so beautiful, so vibrant, everything right now, just keep on watching. So product details. Now this is the Sydney Grace and Fancy Face Tropicolor palette. Now I do want to encourage you to go to Tina's YouTube, which will be linked down below, because she does go in depth on, you know, the inspiration behind this palette, what each shade means, because this is inspired by her country, Jamaica. So definitely check it out if you want that level of detail. Now this is is it 18? So this is an 18 pan eyeshadow palette. You can see all the beautiful shades here, and we will get into some swatches. This was made in the USA. It does have an 18-month shelf life. Here are all of the ingredients. If you need to take a, pause and take a screenshot, you can do that. And this is not vegan. So it does have carmine in it, so it's not vegan, but it also is not, it doesn't have any pressed pigments. So all of these shades in here are eye safe. I know that I have a couple of folks who watch my videos that have sensitive eyes and pressed pigments. Technically not eye safe. So these are all eyeshadows, so they are all eye safe. So if that is something that concerns you, there's that. So like I said, 18 shades, 10 of which are matte. There is one that is a slight satin matte, and then there are 8 silky shimmers. So this does retail for it will retail for $60, and this will actually be available September 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, and lastly, this has 27 grams of product. Each shade has 0.53 ounces. So those are all of the product details. I will say just really quickly, it does come in a sleeve. So the sleeve is identical to the actual packaging. So if you don't want to keep it, that's fine. It even has the ingredients on the back. And I was just looking at Tina's video again. And one other thing that she said at the beginning that I thought was absolutely fabulous is that she actually reached out to Sydney Grace to do this palette. So she mentioned that was inspired by Mel Thompson, who had the Tiny Marvels collab with Sydney Grace, and Mel reached out to Sydney Grace to do the collab, and she was like, I thought I'd do that as well. So if that is not an indication that you should put yourself out there and ask for the things that you want, I don't know what is. So let's dive into this. So here is the beautiful Tropicolor palette in all 18 shades. You can see, like, it really is stunning. It is very colorful. One of the things that she says in her intro video is that she wanted to merge her love of color with Sydney Grace's more wearable, neutral aspect or neutral aesthetic. So you'll see that this isn't the brightest, most colorful palette, but it definitely is more wearable, a little bit more toned down. But don't be fooled, because these shadows pack a punch, because Sydney Gray shadows pack a punch. Now, I did create one other look before this video, so I will make sure to insert a picture of that one at the end. But let's dive into some swatches. So I'm just going to go row by row. The entire first row is mattes, and then the bottom two we have a mixture of mattes and some shimmers. So let's dive in and we'll go row by row. So here we have the first 4 shades. This one is Coconut, and this is the silky sort of satin matte that she mentioned. So we have Coconut, Rum Raisin, Sun Rays, and Palm Trees. Oh, that's nice. That yellow is so pretty. I'm going to swatch Sun Rays again, see how well that builds up. So that's that yellow shade. Very, very pretty. Here we have the next 4 shades. Now this second shade, Cocoa Beans, is a blackened brown. So it looks black on my finger, but it's actually just a really rich brown. So we have Maroon, Cocoa Beans, Lignum Vitae, which is a duochrome, and Blue Maho. Here we have the next 4 shades. This first shade, Dr. Bird, is a multi-chrome, and it's also a little bit of a topper, so it doesn't have the strongest base, and it is very, very flaky compared to the rest. So you'll see a little bit of a texture difference here. So we have Dr. Bird, Cane Fields, Wilma's, Negril. It's a beautiful navy blue. And you can see the texture difference here with Dr. Bird. The shift of the multichrome is a little hard to see here, but you can see the difference in texture, and you can see that it doesn't have a base compared to like Cane Fields, which is also a shimmer. Now we're on to the last row, which has only 1 matte and mainly shimmers. So this is the first 4 shades here. Look at these 2 blue. Oh my god. Let's go here. So we have Tropical Punch, Waterfalls, Rainforest, Hellshire. Do you see those shimmers? Oh my god. Y'all. And these are the last 2 shades. So we have Milk River, that's the only matte in the last row, and then Grape Nut. So we have Milk River. You can't really see it because it does kind of blend into my skin. Let me build that up a little bit. This was actually, you know, this would be a perfect transition shade for me. Real pretty. And then Grape Nut. Okay, so these are all of the shades in the Tropicolor palette. Like, okay, I'm already like dying with these blues, but I have a just love of blue, so yeah, it is stunning. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, so we've talked about the product details. Y'all have seen the swatches. Now let's just dive into this one quick eye look, and then I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on this palette. And yeah, let's dive into this look. Okay, so I'm feeling a little green look today. So you guys already saw from the thumbnail, we're going in with the Tropicolor palette. This is the collab between Tina, the Fancy Face, and Sydney Grace. So you've already seen the color story. You've already seen the swatches. I'm feeling green. I'm feeling like a real simple look. So it's probably going to be like 3-4 shades max. So I got things to do today, y'all. I'm a little busy. So let's get started. My eyes are pretty much done. Well, primed and ready to go. So let's dive in. Ignore the eyebrows. I fucked up today. Excuse me. I made some mistakes, but it's okay. It happens. Now, I want to start by taking the shade Milk River. It is like a orange kind of shade, and I want to put that into the inner part of the eye as like a first transition shade. Oh, this is pretty. Next, I'm going to go into the green shade Palm Trees, and I'm going to put that into the outer part, blending that into that first orange shade. Starting here and then blending that in. And I'm using my Refa number 27 for this. The first brush I used, that was from this orange Beautylish set. What is it? Units? Yeah. So the brand is called Units. I don't know what the orange brush set is called, but it's real nice. As expected, this is blending and applying like butter. That's all ya. Sydney Grace, they don't play with these shadows. And the reason why I'm not really doing multiple looks is because this isn't like a typical first impressions where I'm testing the quality of the shadows. Sydney Grace is one of the most consistent brands and the most consistent formulas out there. So for me, it's not about, is this like good quality, but like, do you like the color story? That's kind of what it boils down to. I'm gonna take the same green shade and start building the outer V with it.
You go wine for me, baby, come closer. I'm in love, say baby, got devotion. You go wine for me, baby, come closer. I'm in love, say baby, got devotion.
And then to deepen up that green, I'm gonna go in with this deep, rich brown. It's called Cocoa Beans. Tina described it as a blackened brown. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that. It looks black in the pan, but it really is a brown. And I'm going to start by plopping that into where I laid down the green in the outer V to darken things up. You know, just give us a little depth. And you can already see this is turning into a darker green. Okay, so you can see this is what it looked like before. Like this side is what like the light green looks like. This is what it looks like when it's deepened up. Okay, so we're just gonna do it on this side now.
I don't want to lie.
Okay, we got some depth, we got some smoke going. Now let's add some shimmers. Shimmy, shim, shim. Okay, so for the shimmers, I'm gonna go in with Cane Feels. To be quite honest, I had originally intended only to put one shimmer on the eyes, but you know how these things go. So I'm gonna take Cane Feels. Look at that green. Ooh, child. Oh my God, it's glorious. I'm sorry, y'all. This is so beautiful. So I'm just plopping that into the center, kind of blending it into the mattes. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space in front because I do think I'm gonna go in with another shimmer because I can't help myself. But this all over the lid would be cute. This is a vibe. This is a real pretty green. And I love me some green eyeshadow. And the green nails weren't intentional. I don't know. I'm feeling real green lately. I don't know. What does green represent? Is it growth? Is it newness? It's life. It's life. Well, and money. I don't know. Am I gonna get some money soon? Is some money gonna drop into my lap? Y'all, this is why I fell in love with Sydney Grace. Do you see this? This magic that is appearing on my lids. And these apply well with a brush. I don't know. I like applying shimmers with my fingers. It gives me a little bit more punch. But if you want a softer look, you can go in with a brush and you'll be fine. And I'm actually creating this look before I swatch this palette, so these are my raw reactions to this shade because I haven't swatched the palette yet. Now, for the inner part of the eye, because I can't help myself, I'm gonna go in with Grape Nut, and I'm gonna put that into the inner part. I am gonna use a brush for this because I want a little bit more precision. This is my Marc Jacobs, the shadow brush. Got this baby at TJ Maxx. Actually, I have a couple of these in my collection. Like I said, Sydney Grace shadows pick up really, really well on a brush, so This is a little bit of a deeper shimmer, but it's on there. So I don't mind going in with a brush to apply them, so. I don't know how I feel about this shade. I kind of want to change it. Okay, I kind of want to change this shade because I don't think it's giving what I want it to give. And I want to go in with one of these two shades. So this one up top is Dr. Bird. This is the multi-chrome, and it's definitely more of a topper shade. And the one right underneath is Lignum. How did she pronounce this? Lignum Vitae? Hold on, I'm gonna get the right pronunciation. Okay, it's Lignum Vitae. So these are the two options. Lignum Vitae or Dr. Bird. So Dr. Bird is supposed to be a multi-chrome, but like a topper multi-chrome. And Lignum Vitae is a duochrome. Okay, I decided. I want to go Lignum Vitae. So I'm gonna actually take this off and put it on this one. But I'm gonna put it on first before I take this one off so y'all can see what it looks like. Yeah. This happens sometimes. Sometimes you do a look, you just don't like it, and then you make changes. Now I'm just gonna take that brush that I used for that original shimmer, clean that off to get that shimmer off, and then I'm gonna go in with Lignum Vitae as my lid shade on this side. Then y'all can tell me if I made a mistake. Okay, we have good color pickup there.
You go wine for me, baby, come closer. I'm in love, say baby, got the potion.
Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like. This is the one with Lignum Vitae. And then this is the one with grape nuts. Which side do y'all prefer? I like this one. I like it. I'm feeling it. I'm not mad at this, but it just wasn't what I was feeling today. So, okay. All right, so let me go take this off, come clean up the rest of this face, and then I'll come right back and give you guys, you know, just some final thoughts. So I just used a wipe to clean off that first section. I'm going back in with the brush that I used to blend out my primer. So whatever residual primer is left, just kind of like tapping that into this space. And I'm going back in with the orange shade that was that first transition shade. Now I will also go back in on this side with this shade, because as you can see, a lot of it's been kind of covered up by that duochrome. Then I'm gonna go in with the purple Lignum Vitae. I'm also taking the green, because I did get rid of some of the green as well. We're gonna fill that in. Okay, so now both eyes are somewhat even. You guys know the drill. I'm gonna blend, clean, get everything right where I want it to be, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back and this is the final look. Yeah, I know, I went into this thing, I'm gonna create a green little basic look, and here we are. So it's okay, it's fine. I'm really liking this. I love how this green purple thingamajig turned out. What I do want to say really quickly is for the waterline, what I did. So I went in with the green shade Palm Trees. I deepened it up with cocoa beans. And then I actually went in with Rainforest. This is kind of, I guess it's called teal, like a tealish shade. And I put that into the inner part, and that's what I did for the waterline. Super basic, super simple. For the inner corner highlight, I went in with my highlight that I use for my face. So let me give you the rest of my face details, and then I'll give you all my final sort of wrap-up thoughts on this palette. So for foundation, I went in with my Charlotte Tilbury. Where is it? My Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless. This is at the end. I'm like scraping these sides because I want to finish this off. So that's what I went in with for my foundation. My LYS concealer per usual. I need some new concealers. So Went in with my LY's concealer, my Pat McGrath under eye setting powder. Let me show you all where this is at because I am so proud. Look at this. I just have this little itty bitty bit here, and then this is empty. So I went in with that for my under eye concealer. I used my Tom Ford bronzer as my pressed powder for the face because this is too light to bronze me. For bronzer though, I did go in with an old bronzer. You may remember this from way back when. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer in the shade Mahogany. This has been out for forever and a day. So I went in with that. I went in with my Melt blush palette. This is from the Amor y Mariposas collection. So I just used this one shade here because it's kind of like an orange shade. So that's what I went in with for blush. And then for highlight, I'm using this MAC Trio that I got from the cosmetics company store, just this center shade right here. And that's pretty much all of the other products that I use on my face. So let's talk about this Tropicolor palette from Sydney Grace. So I like this. Like, there's just, I don't know what else to say. And the thing is, I like the Sydney Grace formula. I think it's one of the most consistent formulas that exists from an indie brand and from an eyeshadow brand just generally. So if you want a good, solid, consistent eyeshadow formula, Sydney Grace is that girl. What I do appreciate about this palette, and I think Tina described it perfectly, is that it's a colorful palette, but a little bit more toned down for folks who don't want that super high impact, high sparkly, bright, colorful palette. So it merges her love of color with Sydney Grace's love of more wearable, neutral tones, which I think is perfect description of this. I think the curation is really great as well. I think you get a lot of options here. So it does lean very blue heavy. So there are a ton of blue shades. You do have some greens as well. But then you also have like these three shades give you a very nice neutral look. And then there's this pop of pink. So I think that you can get pink, blue, green, even some purple because this shade and this duochrome does lean a little bit purple. So you can get the pink, blue, green, purple, neutral. So you have a lot of options when it comes to what you want to create with this palette. The mattes blend really, really lovely. I'll insert a picture of this blue look that I did using this palette. And for that look, what I used is I used this blue shade and then this blue matte as sort of transition mattes, and then I deepened it up with this blue, this really rich navy blue, and then for the lids I used Waterfalls in the center and then Rainforest in the outer front third and came up with that look, and I absolutely loved it. And like I said, Sydney Grace is one of the most consistent formulas. So the mattes are super pigmented, but they blend really, really well, really easily, no issues. And the shimmers are a solid metallic formula. Now, I've only done 2 looks with this. I haven't used all the shades in this palette, but I knew going into this that I was going to like it because I like the Sydney Grace formula. So like I said, it comes down to whether or not you like the color story. So yeah, I am so happy. So happy for Tina. Huge congratulations. I think this is an absolutely stunning, gorgeous palette. So, you know, I'm here to support my little Jamaican sis. Congratulations. This is absolutely beautiful. I would have said this in the intro, but just to reiterate, this is going to be available September 1st. It retails for $60. And yeah, it's going to be available September 1st, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's going to be $60. So if you are interested in this, go ahead and check it out. Go check out Tina's video on this to get her sort of, you know, real deep dive into the inspiration behind the shades. And yeah, I like it. Buy it if you want it, if you think it's cute. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's little first impressions video. Well, second impressions. If you did, you haven't already done so, the subscribe button is right there staring you in the face. So just go ahead and hit subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Don't forget to like this video. It really does help the channel a ton. And leave a comment down below letting me know if you plan on picking this up, what your thoughts is on the color story, if you're interested, if you're piqued, you know, all of that good jazz. As always, I love you guys so very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!